here in the WTA category of the Roland Garros. It is world number 1 against the world number 2. 𝐃𝐈�𝐒 against Aryna Sabalenka. Well, yesterday Aryna Sabalenka eliminated that 𝐃𝐈�𝐒, and then boys in a fairy tale definitely got handed to the hands of 𝐃𝐈�𝐒 yesterday. Well, you tell that later today. It's all about who is going to be in the finals. Also in the men's category, Jannik Sinner, the Italian, he is in this competition against Novak Djokovic. Well, I'll tell you also that Lorenzo Musetti, another Italian, will be up against who? That will be up against the Carlos Alcaraz in the other semi-final of that's the ATP Roland Garros games are set to go down later today. But in the world of basketball, there was a big game that went down in the early hours of today, and it's all about getting the first victory in the best of 7 series of the final NBA. And so we'll discuss about all of this on today's edition of the program right on 32 FM 94.9. And then we join our partners, the BBC, to take a listen to what they have for us. And that's on the BBC Premier League update. And of course, you know that the program promises to be an exciting one. You know we are just here to give you the headlines and making the rounds there in the world of sport. And you're listening to the voice of Oluwatimile Sabisogide on the program this lovely morning. Well, before we go straight into the games that went down yesterday, let's just look ahead and talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are set to be in action against that's Russia later today. Let's take a listen to the words of the captain of the side, William 𝐶�𝐿, speaking ahead of that encounter.
We are here for business. It's not a tourist trip. So as much as we like to enjoy what we see here, we're very much looking forward to the game tomorrow. I don't know too much about the Russian team now. We see that there's been also some changes since I've last seen the team before. However, we have watched a lot of video in the last few days to understand how the team plays, how they've prepared against other friendly games that they've had here in the last year. So we take the team very serious. Of course, they have an outstanding record here with the amount of goals they've scored, yet to concede a goal. And we want to make the difference about that tomorrow. So we're very much looking forward to the game. And we prepare as much as we can in our own way, because also we are here to understand our playing style under the new coach. We have a lot of new faces in the team, and we have to continue to build for our own project, which is the AFCON at the end of the year and to qualify for the World Cup. My game plan I can tell you now, because my boss is sitting here. Of course, we want to combine both. We have a clear idea that we are still working on from the coach. He only started working with us from the start of the year. So this is another opportunity to work on those progressive playing styles that we have ourselves. And also, with the new players that we have, because we've changed some of the squads and it will continue to be so. So for some of the players, it's the first time they're here with us. So they also need to understand what the coach expects. And just from Russia in the big lines, we've seen a team that plays 4-3-3. They try to press high. I think the teams that they played against, they intimidated them because they scored a lot of goals and they had a lot of possession. So it's a challenge now to also explore some of the things that we saw that maybe Russia doesn't do so well.
𝐒𝐍𝐒 et 𝐿𝐿 sont.
Right, today listen to the words of William 𝐶𝐿𝐿, the captain of the side. Well, speaking so well about the game set to go down later today against Russia. But then we'll move away from that and discuss about some European football stories, where definitely we have our partners, the BBC. They will tell us more about that. But for Carlo Ancelotti, well, his first reign with that's the Samba boys, talking about Brazil. He didn't get off to the best start. It was a 0-0. It ended that against Ecuador. That's under considerable pressure. That's all you tell that Carlo Ancelotti is under presently. But then, like I said, Spain defeated France in the thriller to reach the Nations League final, where, of course, they'll be playing against Portugal on Sunday. Remember, I said yesterday that whichever way the result goes yesterday, we would have a 2-time winner of the UEFA Nations League. Remember that Portugal won the maiden edition, and then just last year, 2021, it was Spain, 2023 rather, it was Spain that won the UEFA Nations League. So definitely you say that it is going to be an intriguing final there at the Allianz Arena, or in Berlin rather, when these sides face off against each other. Portugal against Spain. But then for Uzbekistan, well, they've qualified for the World Cup for the first time. And for Australia, they are on the brink of also qualifying for the FIFA Men's World Cup, set to be hosted by the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. But we join our partners now, the BBC, to take a listen to what they have for us on that front of the BBC Premier League updates.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Molly Stevens at the BBC Sports Centre. Liverpool have rejected an approach from Barcelona to speak to forward Luis Diaz. Club sources told BBC Sport that the Colombia international, one of Liverpool's key players in winning the Premier League title last season, is not for sale. The 28-year-old joined Liverpool from Porto in January 2022 and has a contract with the club until 2027. Manchester City defender Abdulkadir Kusamov has qualified for the 2026 World Cup with Uzbekistan, who are the first debutants to book their place in North America. They got the point they needed with a 0-0 draw away to the UAE. A combination of near misses and chokes have blighted Uzbekistan's World Cup dreams in the last 20 years, but they're finally there 31 years after joining FIFA. So how well could they do at the tournament? Here's Pouria Jaffrey from the BBC's Persian service.
Obviously, Hosanov plays for Manchester City now. They've got some of their players in the top leagues in Europe, and Sean Muradov, their captain, plays for AS Roma in Italy. So you have the experience of those top players who are in the ranks of Champions League, the European Champions League, and they've got some experience. But in terms of the collective experience and the quality they're going to bring to the World Cup, I think participation is the main thing, and just like keeping the score lines respectable, that's going to be their goals. I don't think they, even with the new format and the 48 teams and 12 groups of 4 teams, it's a bit of a long shot for them to qualify from the group.
Chelsea are in talks with AC Milan over signing France goalkeeper Mike Maignan. The Italian club value Maignan at about £25 million, but the Blues do not want to meet that price and are in talks about a lower fee. The 29-year-old has been a regular for Milan since joining on a 5-year contract from Lille in 2021. And West Ham have received multiple inquiries from clubs interested in signing attacking midfielder Mohamed Kudus. Sources have told BBC Sport that Chelsea are among the clubs to have engaged in early discussions with the Hammers over the Ghana international, who has a release clause of £85 million. For more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, there you listen to the BBC Premier League update. Everything we tend to know from that English football. But we move away from that also and talk about a bit of that, talking about basketball stories, where it was in the early hours of today. Tyrese Haliburton scored with 0.3 seconds left for the Indiana Pacers to lead that against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they won 111 to 110. Well, what a game. 0.3 seconds remaining, and of course Tyrese Haliburton, well, he scored that at the match-winning point. But then for Haliburton's shot, it is the latest game winner in an NBA Finals game since Michael Jordan did it in Game 1 of the 1997 NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz. And you tell that it definitely has been a great one for the Indiana Pacers when we talk about the world of basketball. But moving away from that also, well, let me tell you that transfer stories, they are news making the rounds. They're in the world of transfer, and it's definitely a great one for some of those top sides who are trying to make a giant stride. So they're in the world of transfer. But quickly away from that, also, like I said, in the world of tennis, we have top games set to go down later today that are talking about these semi-finals of the Roland Garros. Well, you tell that Lorenzo Musetti, world number 8 of Italy, he would be up against the Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz, and Novak Djokovic, well, he would be up against Yannick Sinner also later today. 2 Italians, they are in the semi-finals of the that's ATP Roland Garros, and then we have Carlos Alcaraz, who definitely, these young guns are looking to dethrone Novak Djokovic. Well, for Novak, he is aiming to win his 25th title, and you tell that it's definitely going to be a great one for Novak Djokovic as well. The era of the big three coming to an end, but the threat has not disappeared. That's definitely what Novak Djokovic is doing at this point in time. Well, all right, quickly talking about a bit of female football. Sana Wigman has named Lauren James in a 23-player squad for the Euros 2025 as England attempt to defend their title that's in Switzerland next month. And then for France, their veteran defender, that's talking about captain Wendell Renard, and all-time leading goal scorer Eugene Lissoma, they've been left out of France 23-player squad for next month's Euros 2025 there in Switzerland, and they are looking to win a major tournament for the first time, and they'll face England in their Euro 2025 opener that's on July 5. Well,